Hello everyone, Bashar here. Patch 7.10 for Raid has been announced, and I do believe it has arrived. So it also marks the beginning of the fusion of Jetney the Giant, and I believe 5 more champions have been added to the game alongside with her. So we will do an in-depth analysis of the champions later on, but let's see what the patch has brought us with. So, Call of the Arbiter animated series will start in a week. So we have a teaser trailer sort of thing available right now in game, and when you watch it, you earn 50k silver, very modest I know, and when you also share it on social media, you get a free arena refill and 100 energy. And I believe we will also be getting some milestone rewards, as in so there will be some sort of global view goals, and if they are reached, everyone will receive some rewards, similar to the Viva La Dirt League video. So I guess people were interested in the lore of the game, and they are working on that. Call of the Arbiter will give us a sense, and there will also be bios for champions. For example, this is Pythian's lore, and they said they will be filling all of the lores slowly. There are a lot of champions in the game, and as you know, a lot of champions are getting added to the game over time, so it will take some time to fill, but yeah, they are starting. And guys, the thing that everyone was waiting for, in the fall of 2022, we got Ultimate Death Knight, and later on in the winter, we got Ronda, and we haven't been getting a free login legendary champion for a while, and now we are getting it. So it's not decided yet. It's not. They did not tell us yet who it will be. So it looks like he will be giving us perception pieces, and at the end we will be getting the champion. So it looks like a barbarian guy, right? And they said it would be from the Call of the Arbiter series, and a brand new character, so it will not be one of the existing guys. And to my disappointment, it will not be the Fusion's partner. I was looking forward to it, and we are getting a new set that will be in the Forge Pass Season 8, I believe. So it is a strictly better resistance set, right? It gives us 40 resistance and 10% speed for 2 pieces. So this set will be end game for champions that want to be fast and have resistance, right? Wink wink Siphi, right? So this would be excellent for Siphi. You want her to be fast, of course, but also resistance on top of it would be nice. Duchess, obviously, right? Supportive characters that you want to be Vitir, Elva, right? So this is rather end game. I like the Forge Passes, so I would say the Forge Pass is definitely worth buying, because if you are free to play, the number of righteous pieces that you are able to craft is like 15 or 25, I believe. And if you buy the Forge Pass, you get a full 6-piece legendary set, 6-star legendary set, and also you get enough mats to craft about 200. So I would say this is worth it. There is a lot of quality of life changes, so there is no new content in the game actually. Quality of life is, there will be some sort of filtering. You could say keep speed set with speed substats for me, or you could say keep 6-star lifesteal gear, epic or higher, blah blah, right? You could set up the filters for every single set. So I saw an early version of this, and it was a little bad. It did not allow you to do your picks and preferences differently over the sets and over the pieces. So for a single set you would have a single thing. Maybe that was an early version, but of course that's not good, right? I mean, it will vary. So I mean, if that gets sorted out properly, right, it could be very useful, right? I mean, you can just block out everything that you don't want, right? I mean, sell all 5-star rares except for the ones with speed substats on speed set or something, right? It would be nice. You know, there is a lot of fragments that we have accrued over the years, so they will be removing the champions that you do not have fragments for. Sadly, it will still keep, for example, this Bergot the Malformed. So I am of the opinion that they should be removing this one as well, right? I mean, if there is no future way of earning Bergot the Malformed fragments, they should remove it. But I mean, what they are doing is, if you have 0 pieces of the champion and the fragments are not readily obtainable, they just remove it. That's what will happen. This will be very refreshing for older players, I would say. Actually, maybe more so for newer, because there are a lot of champions that I do have 0 fragments of. And yeah, we will take a look at this. So first off, the fusion itself, Jetni the Giant. I believe her fusion has started or should very soon start. So A1 is attacks twice, books up to 50%, 50% of stun, and 50% of decreased defense. Well, that is actually powerful for an A1. So I would say the multiplier would be bad, right? I mean, 50% stun is in and of itself a decent A1. And also having the chance to apply a decreased defense debuff is pretty nice. Yeah, that's not bad. And guys, what's good about Jetni is, you know, Spirit Affinity, green champions are not very well known for their nuking capacities, right? I mean, there are... So, yeah, from my own collection, guys, green is the weakest maybe is not the correct word, but I mean, it is the affinity that I have leveled the least champions on. And most of them are support or utility champions, right? I mean, the only nuker I have in Spirit Affinity is Magnar. And the nuker from that affinity does not come easy to mind. I mean, there is Mashaled, there is Helicat. Well, Mashaled, yeah, Mashaled is there, right? So that properly, that is the only proper nuker that Spirit has, I guess, along with Magnar. So what I'm trying to say is, guys, Jetni will be good because, for example, when you are facing a red boss, right, you want a green nuker so you can deal some extra damage, and he doesn't do as much damage as to you, right? And normally most people's accounts will be stuck there because there are not many green nukers around, so that will be nice. And by the way, Jetni will be a fragment event, so there will be no fusing the epics and blah blah, right? We will be saving a lot of energy there. But the thing is, guys, Plarium has been aware of this as well, so they make the events require more energy, right? So for example, they would put the rare at 2.1k points in Dungeon Divers, and they put that 3k points for fragment ones, right? So they make you bleed that extra energy that way. So A2 is attacks all enemies, will ignore 20% of each target's defense. That's pretty great, right? I mean, Savage is probably the best set in the entire game, and it ignores 25%, right? I'm of course not taking into account the strictly better versions that exist in Doom Tower only. Yeah, I mean, that Doom Tower version is obviously better. And also gets booked up to 100%, decreased defense debuff for 2 turns, and this debuff can't be resisted if her partner is on the same team. Well, I mean, defense ignore is pretty neat, right? But sadly, the decreased defense is not before attacking. So, and finally we have attacks all enemies twice. Before attacking, place a 30% crit rate and 30% crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. So basically this means we will be building this champion with 70% crit rate, right? Grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy when the partner is on the same team. Well, that is a specific partner ability. Well, the good thing is, so that means level 6, I guess. 5, 8, 12 books. Sadly, it is not below average. It is maybe slightly above average or average. 12 books, not very good. And she also inflicts 20% more damage against targets under shield buffs, and this is a serious partner ability. So it will also ignore, she will also ignore shields if the partner is on the same team. So guys, you are actually inflicting 20% more damage to them, and you are ignoring their shields. So they actually get punished for having the shield, right? You deal 20% more damage and you ignore the shield. So that can be very nasty. I mean, all in all, I like her. We, of course, will need to see her multipliers. I would be much, much happier if the fusion was the partner and this was the partner, right? Because, I mean, for reasons that will be obvious to you in a few minutes, I do want the partner more than this one. But, I mean, it's a legendary and it is definitely obtainable. So, I mean, I am obviously going to go for it. And guys, as I said, there are not many green nukers. It might be nice to have her. And here is her partner, another barbarian. This one is red. So let's go. Attacks one enemy, heals 20% of damage dealt, has 60% of increasing the duration of 2 random debuffs of the target champion by 1 turn. Well, I mean, it does some stuff for an A1. Okay, I guess. Crack the Sky gets booked down to 3 turns. Attacks all enemies. Has 100% to remove 2 random buffs on all enemies. Has 100% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies. And it does that even if this attack lands as a weak hit. Okay. Also places continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. Interesting, right? I mean, it removes buffs, it places a heal, and here comes the reason that I want him before the fusion. He fully heals 1 ally, 4 turn cooldown, and it places a 2 turn block damage on all allies for 2 turns. So this is the game's 3rd champion that allows us to apply a 2 turn block damage buff to the entire team on a 4 turn cooldown. After Roshkar the Tower, Helikath, and so Alsgor is the 3rd guy that does this. And the reason I want this champion over the other is, guys, I mean, 2 turn block damage champions have a cheese of Iron Twins, right? You put up the 2 turn block damage champion, you give them some speed, you put 3 Painkeepers with them, and the Painkeepers can even actually be level 1 or something, right? You don't have to gear them. So the guy does his block damage, everyone reduces the cooldowns, and Geomancer applies his HP burn, and the boss just dies, right? So the thing is, guys, for my account, I mean, in the early mid game or thereabouts, I mean, you make your champions stronger by ranking them up to rank 6, leveling them to 60, ascending them, giving them books, and giving them some mediocre gear, right? That's what you do. And that's how you get them stronger, right? But in the mid-late game or late game, you need the blessings and you need better gear. Better gear, of course, is very hard. Yeah, and so if you can't do Iron Twins, the soul thing is out of the window, right? So that's why I think my account and most accounts that can't do Iron Twins, the thing that we want is a champion that will allow us to do Iron Twins. I know there are killable teams out there, but Iron Twins has many affinities, and those teams are risky. This is rock solid. 2-turn block damage champion, 3 pain keepers, and a Geomancer or maybe a Cold Heart. I mean, something that deals damage to them based on their HP or thereabouts, and you just kill. So that's why I want this champion, but God knows what the obtaining method will be. I was taking a look at the login champion with hopes it could be this guy, but this guy has a hammer in hand, and the login champion does have an axe in hand, so it's not this guy. I got a little worked up about this, and his passive is when attacked has a 50% chance of placing decreased speed debuff on the attacker for 2 turns. This chance increases to 100% if Jetney is on the same team. Well, these are really weak lover synergies. I mean, if I have seen one, yeah. So I don't care about the lovers, I do care about this ability. And I hope I will be able to get this at some point. And he has a 60 resistance aura for all battles. That's not bad at all. So we got the new Krisk coming in. This champion is insane. So he is similar to Krisk. I mean, both body size and ability wise. And he is really extremely insane. He would be top 10 or so, I guess. I mean, he is really insane. So A1 ability is similar to Helicat and Valkyrie. He puts up a shield, right? And the shield only relies on the champion's defense. And the shield will apply to everyone but himself. So there's the difference from Valkyrie. But guys, this is an A1. So, I mean, that is serious, right? I mean, he will give a big shield to everyone with his A1. Of course, the multiplier could be very bad, but I am not expecting that the multiplier would be very bad. So this guy is an Ogryn Void legendary. Let's go. So it doesn't state this here, but attacks all enemies, heals the champion 10% of damage dealt, increases the duration of all allies. Let me see, Krisk similarity, buff extension. And guys, it doesn't state here, but I do believe that this ability was enemy max HP based damage. So he has a kit that is similar to Krisk's, and he has a Husk Royal Guard like ability, right? I mean, enemy max HP based AoE damage, which is insane, right? I mean, a champion that is similar to Krisk with enemy max HP based nuke. And finally, he provokes everyone like Krisk again, and gives the entire team 50% increased resistance buff and 60% increased defense buff. Well, that is a little different than Krisk, but you know, it has the vibes. And let's see his passive. Whenever this champion is attacked, heals all allies except this champion by 70% of the damage received. And for bosses, this ability goes down to 35%. And it has no cooldown whatsoever, which is insane. 0 turn cooldown, right? So the cooldown that we see here is for this one. So he preempts a kill like Aniri, but only on himself. So when he is about to get killed, he receives an unkillable buff. And guys, very different to Krisk, he has an aura. And the aura is the second best defense aura in the game. I believe Blind Seer has a 34%, right? I'm not sure if there is anyone tied, but 33% is the second highest. So, I mean, insane. Beyond insane. This is one of the best champions in the game, I believe. Yeah, pretty good. Extremely good Hydra champion. And of course, guys, by the way, this shield can be buffed with the increased defense that he puts, right? Ilsinia, that is an epic. 55% chance to steal buff. Okay. I mean, I will go light on the epics. I'm not going to examine too much. I mean, they could be very good, but most of the time, yeah, the legendaries are the real deal. Before attacking, Oh, interesting. 80% chance of removing block debuffs from all enemies before attacking. And also 80% chance of applying block buffs. Well, which is nice, but why the heck is it 80%, right? I mean, even if we get that mastery, it will be 5%, right? I mean, 85%. So guys, this is absolutely unreliable. I don't understand these champions, right? And it's not even like Achak, right? Achak is 90% and you can use the mastery and get it to 95%. That is relatively reliable, right? But I mean, 85%, that's very risky, right? I mean, if you fail, and you will fail every once and then, weird. And Shield of Arabia, place a shield buff on all allies, 2 turns, 20%. Okay. And so sadly, the books don't increase the size of the shield, so the shield will be weak, and the weak strengthen. Well, I needed to see some books here that made the size of the shield bigger. Heal the champion by 30% of their max HP whenever a shield buff is placed by the Shield of Arabia skill on this champion expires, removed and broken by an enemy attack. Well, guys, that's not very bad, but the thing is, only this champion, only Ilsinia gets healed, right? I mean, if it said any champion that had their shields removed somehow gets healed by 30%, that would have been nice, right? It kind of would have meant a bigger shield, but kind of course, because if the shield barely gets broken, the heal goes to waste, but still, it would have been nice, right? This way, it's not very good. So this is meh. Another epic, and then we will have another epic. Let's take a look. Attacks one enemy 4 times, 4 hit, that's important. 2% of this champion's HP. So I think this guy was HP based. So guys, it might not look very good, but so if you get this guy to a 100k, and you also have all this extra healing, so it would be healing by 10% or so. So 4 hit A1 is not something very common, and also 10% heal every time it plays is not bad. Yeah, because if it's this champion's max HP, that's important, guys. I mean, if you have a 30k DPS and this guy is 100k, when the 30k guy gets healed by 10k, that matters, right? Could be nice with retaliation gear, maybe. We'll see. Heals all alive by 10% of this champion's max HP, also as a counter-attack champion. Also, with counter-attack, when he gets attacked, he will attack and he will heal the allies. That's not very bad. 3 turn cooldown, okay. Reflect damage and a shield buff of 20% of the champion on all allies. Well, goes down to 3 turns. Now this is not very bad. I mean, I would have loved this champion if he had one more book that said 10% shield. Restores destroyed max HP whenever this champion heals themselves or not. The amount of HP restored is 30% of the heal. Well, I mean, I don't think this champion is Hydra viable. If the counterattack was AoE, I know it wouldn't happen, but then maybe. Still not very bad, right? I mean, it's better than the Ilsinia. And Creodan the Blue is our final epic. He is from the Sylvan. So I think they meant this guy for the Fire Knight, the Hard Fire Knight. Attacks one enemy thrice and 35% of freeze debuff. Well, okay. I mean, you can get the mastery to get it to 40%, I guess. Attacks all enemies twice. Each hit has 65% of freeze debuff. Goes up to 70. 30% increased speed buff. And so this is Apothecary, right? This is, I believe, identical to Apothecary's ability. And finally, every time he places a freeze, he gets 5% turn meter. So guys, the problem is, I keep saying this, but for hard Fire Knight, they should increase the amount of turn meter reduction that gets applied to the Fire Knight when a freeze occurs, right? 15% doesn't do it. So very few players in the world can do Fire Knight hard stage 10, and they do it with Cardiel, Valkyrie, Cold Heart, blah blah, right? No one is doing freeze. The freeze strategy does not work because the boss has 250 speed, guys. And even if you do manage to land a freeze after you have to break a 21 hit shield, the only turn meter reduction that you apply is 15%. So that's like about a 30-40 speed loss on the boss. So that doesn't do it. So I don't think it's enough. I mean, the champion is fully designed for this, but it's still not enough. We need the turn meter reduction to increase, but it has been some months since they released it and they are not fixing it. I guess they are happy that not even 1% of the players in the world are able to do hard Fire Knight. I mean, the others are doable, right? I mean, people are doing them, but Fire Knight is something else. So that is about it for the new champions. I wish you luck with the fusion, and I will remind you that the fusion is a fragment based, so you can actually get the fragments and save the fragments till you can summon it during a CVC that will give you 30k points in that CVC. Anyways guys, that's about it. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.